Hey guys, it's Jess, and I'm super excited to be sharing another light up card with you featuring the Pear Blossom Press Light Up Powder Pack Kits. This is a way to make light up cards, which I think is super awesome, and take your cards to the next level, and they've made it super easy for you to do that. So I'm going to start off my card by doing some ink blending. I've been super obsessed with this ink color combination lately. It's super unexpected, and I'm going to be using it in a project in the near future, so hopefully I'll be able to share that with you guys soon. But the colors I'm using here are Worn Lipstick, Dried Marigold, Spun Sugar, and Tumbled Glass. And I actually found this color combination while I was browsing on Pinterest for winter themed color palettes, and it didn't have any Distress Oxides listed. It was just a color palette or a mood board, and I matched up my Distress Oxides as best as I could, and I was so thrilled with the results, you guys. I've been blending up a storm using this color combination because I just thought it was so super gorgeous. So I'm just being very careful to remove the tape. This is a purple tape. I've masked off the bottom of my card so that I have a white bottom and then my ink blending up at the top, and it's nice and crisp. Off camera, I did do some stamping and coloring of the little house that's up in the corner or the other side of the paper there, and I colored those with my Spectrum Noir markers, but I wanted to keep the focus today on how I made this light up card and not so much on the coloring and all of those details, so I wanted to kind of cut out a few of the other things that might have made the video a little lengthy. So I'm using a craft knife to cut out the interior portion of the street lamp. This is a set from Fawn called Winter in the Village, or just Winter Village maybe, but I'll have it linked below in case you want to check it out. I think it's just Winter Village maybe. But anyway, I cut out the center of the lamp so that I can make that my light up portion of the card, and I used a pair of scissors to go ahead and fussy cut that out. I did fussy cut all of the houses as well, so I cut 4 houses and then just this one street lamp. I thought it would be really cute to have the light up focus be very small. I don't know why, but I just really thought that it was super cute, and I like the way that it turned out. So once I finished fussy cutting, I went ahead and started assembling my card. I did also off camera use some water and spritz I spritzed a mister in my hand. I think it's actually the sprayer from the Distress sprayer. I misted it or spritzed it into my hand and flicked the water droplets onto my background there, and I soaked the excess up with a dry paper towel, so that I got that oxidized look. That's the cool thing about those Distress Oxides. And now I'm just experimenting with the placement of things on my card. Once I was happy with the placement, I did go ahead and use some glue to adhere those to my card front. I put down the street lamp and the 4 houses all in a row. I thought about building up more of a scene, making more houses and layering them and masking, and I just thought it would take away too much from the simplicity of what I wanted in this card. Originally I had planned to kind of squish everything over to the left hand side and then have the light up element more off to itself on the right, but I kind of liked just spreading it out across the whole thing. I thought it ended up looking really cute, and I'm glad that I went with this instead of doing it the other way. Now, I started to go for the little hole punch with the crocodile. I think that's what this thing is called. So it just punches holes right through. I punched it, but I wasn't happy because it was a circle and you could still see the ink blended background. So I ended up actually cutting it out the rest of the way with a craft knife later. But at the beginning, I just punched it out as a circle. So I'm using my Mini Misty to stamp out this cute little puff of smoke type thing coming out of the chimney that says love. And I decided I was going to be so smart, and I always have a problem in my other light up card videos where I don't leave enough room for the foam tape at the end. So I thought, oh, I'm a genius. I'll just go ahead and put the foam tape on first, right? Except that I put the foam tape on the wrong side. I put the foam tape on the back of my card front instead of on the card base where it should have gone. So I still had trouble trying to figure out where to put the copper tape and all of that for the light up card. So go me for not being the smartest of them all. So this is the Power Pack kit. It comes in a 3-pack. You can also order parts individually through Pear Blossom Press, but it comes with 3 batteries, which also have the push button on them so that you can turn your light up card on. It comes with 3 lights that are self-adhesive, and it also comes with a ton of copper tape, more than you will probably use on any one card, I would imagine. I've used the same copper tape for like 3 cards now, and I only just ran out in this video, and I'm pretty wasteful, to be honest. Okay, so I tried to make sure, you can see here, I realized the error of my ways. I tried to make sure that I left enough room for the foam tape to go around the outside. Luckily, the foam tape that I use is pretty narrow, so I think I did okay. It works, so I mean we're in business. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the battery pack with some super glue because I'm impatient. You can use any type of glue. This just dries the fastest, so that's what I used for this video. The button is there on the little long skinny part, and then the circular part is the battery. It's all built in and ready to go. It has a positive side and a negative side, and I actually made an uh-oh here, but I didn't realize it. I kept it in so that you can see what happened, but basically I didn't think about things before I went to go start putting on my copper tape with the positives and the negatives on my light. So I should have turned the light the opposite direction, because the pointy part is the negative and the like the broader wide part is the positive. And I did it upside down. So on my battery pack, I was connecting the positive to the negative and the negative to the positive, and that is not going to work. My light is not going to turn on. Here I noticed, I was like, oh no, I've made an error. And so I was able to fix it. I just peeled off the little light and turned it around, and it worked just fine. I just had to put a new piece of copper tape so that I didn't have any issues, but it all worked out okay, and at least I noticed it in time and my whole card wasn't assembled. Hooray. For once I actually noticed something before it was too late. But yeah, so just make sure that you line up the positive with the positive and the negative with the negative. They are very clearly marked. I just wasn't paying attention. So just double check before you start. All you have to do is connect the copper tape in a straight line. You can turn it. You don't have to cut it like I do, but I like to cut it because I feel like, I guess I'm kind of a perfectionist, but you don't have to cut it. You can just kind of fold it over. But as long as it's a continuous circuit of the copper tape, it will like have the connection work just fine, and your card will light up magnificently. So the reason I peeled the tape off there is because I didn't leave enough room for the foam tape. Big surprise. And so I just removed it and then moved the tape up a little bit and called it good. And then I'm just adding the copper tape for the other side. So this is going to connect from one to the other on my light and my battery again. All you're doing is just creating this big circuit here. You don't have to go as wide as I did. I just think it's easiest to just do it in straight lines. And so I tend to just make it large enough that I can do it that way, where it's all a straight line. Now my lines weren't quite touching there. There was a very, very small gap in between my pieces of copper tape. So I'm just putting an extra piece of copper tape right over top and using my knife to cut it off. Now, if you're going to use a craft knife or anything like that, make sure you don't cut the copper tape that is part of your circuit, because then your light won't light up. It does have to be a continuous circuit. I should note that I did put a piece of vellum behind the little cutout I made in the street lamp because I didn't want the light to be too harsh. And I also did double up on my foam tape so that I had enough room for my card to not be lighting up all the time, but only to light up when I press the button. So now I'm just peeling off the foam tape, adhering that card front to my card panel or my base, and then I will also adhere it to an A2 size card base in white. You can see there that my button is working magnificently and it's lighting up perfectly. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of the card. I'm using my Mini Misty with some Letter It embossing ink from Ranger. And I'm using this adorable sentiment that says from our home to yours. I just thought that was really cute with the little houses and then the little light on. I don't know. It just made me feel all warm and fuzzy. This could be a Christmas card. It could be like a new house card. I don't know. It could be pretty much for anything. And I kind of liked that about this. So I like the more versatile cards and the ability to have them in my stash for any such occasion as I see fit. So I'm using some Ranger white embossing powder over a coffee filter so that I can pour it right back in and not waste any. And then I am going to go ahead and melt that with my heat tool. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ATG or advanced tape glider to glue that down or tape that down to my card front. And I did realize after that I had wanted to cut a little angle at the end of my sentiment strip, so I sort of peeled it up a little bit, just enough to cut it, but I would recommend doing that beforehand. And then I just trimmed off the little excess bits from the edge there. I thought I was done, and then I actually decided I wanted a couple sequins because, I mean, you know me, I like the clear sequins. So I'm using my Gina K Connect glue here to attach the little sequins in clear to my card front, and then that finishes off the card. I really like how this turned out, and I'm super excited to use the light up kits again, always looking for a new way to use those. So here's a look at the finished card. I hope you love it, and I will see you guys again really soon in another video. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I will see you guys again really soon. Bye!